How many rubber bands do you think it takes to crush a car? A group of people decided to test it. They brought in an ordinary car. The goal was simple: use rubber bands to squeeze the whole car until it deformed or even burst. But the first step was already difficult. The car was too big. Ordinary rubber bands were nowhere near enough, so they specially ordered oversized rubber bands. But then another problem came. How do you put them on? Several people struggled around the car for a long time before barely getting the first one on. The second was manageable. By the third, it was already clearly getting difficult. The tension was too strong. If they weren't careful, the band would snap back. Still, they kept adding more. Soon, the number reached 50. At that point, changes started to appear. The doors began to deform slightly, but not too much. They realized this was too slow, so they changed methods. They installed hooks on the ground, hung the rubber bands in place first, then drove the car into them. The speed increased instantly. Soon, they passed 100 bands. This time, the effect was obvious. The doors were visibly crushed inward, but they still weren't satisfied. They kept going. At 200 bands, the doors had already started to crack. The metal structure was clearly struggling under the pressure. But the whole car still hadn't burst, so they kept adding more. At 280 bands, small cracks began to appear in the windshield. Then over 300, the whole car looked like it was being squeezed by an invisible force. The body kept shrinking, the steel deformed, the glass started making cracking sounds, the tension rose instantly, until the 385th band, bang, the windshield shattered completely. The car body hit its structural limit. The whole car was crushed apart by the tension of the rubber bands. Everyone was stunned. Who would have thought something as ordinary as rubber bands stacked together could crush a car? So the question is, if it were you, what do you think could withstand that kind of pressure?